You did go scorched earth on Schefter. That was interesting. That became a thing yesterday, so I did want to get there. But you're right. Maybe we did too much of the officiating because I did really want to ask you a football question. And that is a legacy question because both you and I value the history of this game to a great degree. And I wonder if Allen hasn't done it yet, if it's ever going to happen. And if you were to step back and take the time machine 10 years in the future, do you think we will have ever seen Josh Allen win a Super Bowl?
Yes. Yeah, because he's the second best quarterback alive. So that guy, I mean, Mahomes not going to win all of them.
So see, and you began the conversation saying, kill the Bills because they traded.
Well, yeah. Of course.
Well, he got the second best quarterback alive. So can you?
Well, that sucks. If it's not only you could have gotten the best quarterback alive, you could have gotten the best quarterback ever. Did the Rockets make a mistake? Akeem's great. Took him number one. Won 2 titles. They made a mistake. Probably should have taken Michael Jordan. Just probably. I mean, I love Dream.
So you do think Josh Allen wins a Super Bowl?
Yeah, I do. He's second best quarterback in the league. So here's the other thing. I said, when you said at the beginning, when I said it should say Chiefs truth teller. Here's the other thing nobody wants to hear. I've also only ever been a Bills truth teller. People can get as mad as they want. Every year when they were wildly overrated, I told everyone they were, and every single year I was right. I was never wrong about the Bills. Every year I said they were wildly overrated until this year when I said wildly underrated for the exact same reason they were previously wildly overrated. The media overrated previously the name players, Diggs, Poyer, Hyde, and that made them think those guys were better than they were, so the Bills were better than they were, but it also made them think their losses were devastating. All year long, I've said the Bills are the second best team in the league. All year long, I said that the Chiefs, Bills in the AFC Championship game, at the very beginning of the year, I thought the Bengals maybe could be there, but then it was very clear, Chiefs, Bills. I never believed in the Ravens. I thought the Bills could win that game yesterday. I didn't think they would. I thought they could. So yeah, I think at some point they'll win a Super Bowl. The tricky thing for Bills fans is this. History does tell us coach quarterback together, if they don't get to a Super Bowl within 5 years, not happening. Like there's so what does that mean for Sean McDermott? I don't know. But Josh will win one at some point. I don't know when, but I would bet yes. Like of the active quarterbacks, I would set Mahomes' future Super Bowls over under if I set it at 3.5.
Including this one?
It was from today.
Okay.
Does he get over under 3.5 more rings? Because over would tie Brady. But the problem's the wrong word. I mean, he's, one game away. Like this one is kind of determines the bet there. Like if I were setting odds, I would set Josh's number at here's a fun one. If we set the number at 1, what would you do you think he's more likely to finish with 0 or 2? Is really what that question is. I'd probably go under, but if you set the number at 0.5, I would hammer the over. You know what I mean? Like I think he'll get one, especially because he doesn't fold in big moments. I don't think he plays his best at all times, but he certainly doesn't fold in big moments. Nobody thinks he folds in big moments. If you set the number for Lamar at 0.5, I would take the under. I think Lamar is going to have a tough time. And I don't know that he'll play as long. Burrow, if you set the number at 0.5, I would take the over.
It just
of those
depends
guys.
on how many the Chiefs collect. And I know you have a run.
It also depends if some of those guys change conference. The NFL maybe should realign conferences based on quarterback power. Like, it sucks that all four of those guys I just mentioned are in the same conference. Sorry, go ahead. I interrupted you.
Yeah, but I mean, Kelsey's going to retire here soon. Chris Jones probably has a couple of years of dominance.
Yeah.
At some point he gets older. We don't know who next wide receiver one is going to be for Patrick Mahomes. So there is the possibility that there is the dip, just like Tom Brady had a 10-year dip in the middle of his career where they don't win a Super Bowl. They might go to them and not win them. But, you know, the last 2 years also, to your point, that the Chiefs have been branded as not a good version, and they might win 3 Super Bowls without Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, and last year's Chiefs team, that was legitimate. They were the 3 seed. They had 6 losses, all of it. The commentary surrounding this year's Chiefs team was some of the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. They had the best record in the league from start to finish. Go ahead.
I just don't know if these versions of the Chiefs that don't score 30 points, could lose 5 games of the regular season last year, et cetera, are collecting rings. I agree. I think Allen will get one. I think Burrow will get one. But, man, I don't know, because then it takes – somebody has to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs. And what team or what quarterback is going to do so, because they're not doing it yet?
Here's the more kind of complicated is the wrong word, trickier part of it. You have to beat Mahomes and then not mentally treat that as your Super Bowl. You have to beat Mahomes and then win the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Like that. And that is forget whatever you think of the strength of the Chiefs, whatever. I guarantee the Eagles desperately wanted the Bills to win that game. Desperately. Because they would know, well, we've been here before, and the Bills are going to have felt like they just won the Super Bowl. And you know what I mean? And so that's the other, like, it's probably, like, oddly, does Jared Goff and Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts, obviously Jalen Hurts in it this year, but, you know, do all those guys have a far better chance? Because they have 2 ways. Basically, those guys have 2 ways to win the Super Bowl. Beat Mahomes or beat the guy who beat Mahomes, like Stafford's way.
Have somebody else.
You know what I mean? Stafford, right. Yeah. Since Mahomes has been in the league, there's only one guy who has won, or one quarterback who's won a ring that isn't either him or the guy that beat him. Because Brady won 2. Brady went through Mahomes on both. Mahomes won 3, and we'll see about this one. And then Hurts, by the way, if he wins, it's the same thing. He will have beaten Mahomes. Stafford's the only guy. You know what? And I love Matt Stafford. I'm starting to think I don't know how much that ring counts. If you win a Super Bowl during Patrick Mahomes' career and you have to beat Patrick, like, does that even count? That feels like people talk about LeBron's bubble championship. I might have to put a little asterisk because Stafford has a non-Mahomes championship.